Hi, my name is Chris Robinson, and I've been married for 10 years and father of 4. And recently I was invited to a Fan the Flame by Chuck Williams, and I had come to it, Chuck had told me about it before, and kind of told me what had going on with this group of men that were talking about marriage. And I feel like I've had a pretty decent marriage and things are going well, but I know that there's always room for improvement. So I decided to go ahead and join the group, and I came, and the first time that I came, I thought, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I had the opportunity to be around men that were married for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years or more. And to sit there and have that wisdom poured into me from all these men, I was absolutely amazed. So the following week, I decided to invite somebody else because I knew I had found a piece of gold and that I needed to share this with other men out there. And so I began to invite other friends and had one come along. And yet he had the exact same feeling I had. He had found gold and it knew that he was in a place of growth, in a place of learning. So if you're looking for a place that you can get together with other men that are looking to grow and develop, and if you're looking to build a better marriage, be a better version of you, I encourage you to join Fan the Flame.
My name is Tony Levski. I've been married 48 years. I was involved in the ministry of men for about 10 years. In fact, the reason I came to was because Daryl Martin invited me to a Ministry of Men meeting at a coffee shop. We met and they invited me. I've got a great deal out of the Ministry of Men as far as helping me in the normal meetings that I attend once a week. And as far as fanning the flame, which is about marriage, even though I've been married 48 years, I feel I still have a lot to learn about it. It's helped me tremendously, and my help has come from the men around me at the meetings. And also, what I also get out of it is the fact that at times I can contribute something and give back to this group. I would recommend it to anyone. If you have a great marriage, you could get an even better marriage from it. So I just have nothing but positive points about it. It's helped me tremendously. One of the things that I got most out of fanning the flame was the fact that, while I've always loved my wife, the thing that I feel now more in addition to that is the appreciation of who she is and what she does in my life and all the positive things. It just made me more aware. In fact, it's taken myself out of the picture instead of being self-centered and putting her as the priority in my life.
My name is Mark. I started going to ministry for men with my friend Steve Ashley. Steve had invited me to this meeting, and I didn't really feel like going, to be honest with you, because I've already been going to a men's ministry meeting. But this was more focused on, it was with fanning the flames. It was to help men with their relationships with their wives, and I thought, well, it couldn't hurt to give it a shot. Even after 27 years of marriage, it's kind of surprising that there are places that where you can use improvement. Over a period of time, our marriage had gone stale. My wife was not feeling secure in different ways, financially, and in terms of me not listening to her and giving her I wasn't giving her my attention, and then that was a really an area that needed some work. But we were living much like a couple of people who were it was like two roommates as opposed to a married couple. God was not at the center of our marriage anymore. We had neglected, I'll say I neglected it, but I know it's a team effort, but we'd fallen short in so many different ways, and I remembered after going through the book, Fanning the Flames, the workbook, and then going home with there's a little questionnaire in the book that basically, it's not a questionnaire, it's an area where your wife can kind of say show you her priorities and how I am meeting those priorities in our marriage. And I think it was just a little early. I gave her the questionnaire. I asked her if she would be willing to take a look at it. And I told her it was going to help me to know where I need to go, where her expectations were in terms of the different aspects of our marriage. handed it to her, and she handed it back to me, and she told me, I really have no expectations. Her expectations they weren't even low. They were non-existent. And now a lot of that had to do with the fact that I had disappointed her so much that she had pretty much given up. Our marriage was dead, and I did not have any. That to me was more hurtful than if she had said, I'm disappointed in you in these certain areas, or if she had said, there's things we can do to fix it. She didn't even care whether I did anything or not. So, and didn't care whether I was interested in trying to improve any of the areas of my life that would help to nurture the marriage to make it better. So that was very hurtful. So I realized that I had some more work to do. So I kept going to the meetings. This is my second time around that I'm going through now, and it's really made a difference for me. Only because it's repetitive. I've been going to marriage counselors, Becky and I, for years. Meetings with our associate pastor, meetings with professional counselors. I had been to a couple of seminars for marriage enrichment, and all these things that we've done, where we actually spent money in some cases, and in some cases where it was just our pastors knew that we needed some assistance in our marriage and that sort of thing. We did those, and none of them really was as effective as what I've gotten through this group. And a lot of it has to do with the repetition of going through the Word, going through the workbook, and also relating with the other guys in the group what we all go through universally as husbands, because we all fall short, we all make mistakes, we all get caught in a rut, and that's pretty much where I am, and that's why I started going to the group meetings here with Fanning the Flames. I will tell you that things have improved dramatically at home. You'd think I'd smile a lot more saying that, but things have really gotten a lot better at home. I still haven't arrived yet. It's going to be a process. It's not something that I'm going to one day realize that my marriage is perfect. There's nothing perfect about it, but you just keep going. You keep trying to make things better. And I'm so grateful that I ran into these guys and have had a chance to go through the curriculum, because I've learned a lot as a result.
Hi, I'm Steve Ashley. I'm glad to be here. I'm privileged, actually, to this point, being able to be part of Ministry to the Men. For the past few months, I've been able to be a bonding of some great relationship with guys, learning a lot about God, relationships, what men go through. Mostly what this is about is the Fanning the Flame program. I thought 20 years of marriage, there were problems, there were bumps in the road, but I never saw any problems until one day I was served papers, and basically I had a shock that I don't think many men could understand if they didn't want their marriage over, and didn't understand if they didn't think things were wrong. Then marriage ended, and after a couple of years I had met my second wife, and throughout that process my first wife and I actually did become good friends, just for the record, and then she passed. She was a very nice woman. We had 2 children, and my second wife had 2 children also, so we were a blended family. Well, some situations happened this year which caused a lot of problems in our marriage, 13 years. And I started getting closer to God on my own, trying to find some way to fix this, but it was all by myself. So I like going out to the restaurants and sitting there and reading my Bible and having breakfast. And I went to JJ's up on, by West Clay, and God led a waitress to me, seeing me read my Bible, and explained to me that there were meetings in the morning there. So I ended up hooking up and with some guys and met some wonderful men. And through that process, it helped me start getting closer to God again, where I needed to, started learning things that I needed to learn. It still wasn't fulfilling anything with my marriage. So Charlie, one meeting, was mentioning about the Fanning the Flame program. I took the information home and didn't do anything much with it for a couple of weeks, and then started thinking on it. It's like God put it on my mind, you need to go do this. So I decided to attend it. Well, Chuck started teaching Fanning the Flame the first time I was doing it, and what I found was some information that was compellingly useful. It to the point where I had no idea how much better we could make our marriages, and how much all of us guys, and I'm sure some of you out there, are not doing the right things. You think you are. You think you've got a great thing going. But with God's help and letting Him educate you, and this Fanning the Flame program connects where it lets God work on your wife through your reverence to Him, your love for yourself, and then find out where your respect and your honor and your devotion need to be for your wife. This is something I never thought in the world was even viable, because we're all guys. We take things for granted. Everything's events for us. And the women, when something goes through their life, it's a process for them to rekindle that. So, and these things don't happen overnight. And I'm not perfect yet in my marriage. But from what was probably a negative number, Chuck gave us this little thing to go to our wives with and ask on a scale of 1 to 10 where we are. And my wife, through the second program now of Fanning the Flame, because I'm stuck with this, I'm committed to this, she rated me a 6. And I wanted to cry. So, just to let all you guys know out there, Fanning the Flame works. It's not something that you feel you have to go to because it's a job, but it's something that you should want to go to because it'll change your life with your marriage.